Well, if Japan and Thailand are failing to shine, it's a different story in the Philippines. It grew nearly 7% in the last quarter of 2014. That's the kind of growth associated with powerhouses like China. The Philippines has been called the sick man of Asia, but that may not be the case anymore. Barnaby reports from Manila.
Still reeling from the aftermath of natural disasters, the $300 billion Philippine economy slowed in 2014, but it still outpaced most other Asian countries.
Overall, the Philippine economy's performance in 2014, in the preceding years, starting in 2010, shows how our country can no longer be called the sick man of Asia.
A bold statement by Arsenio Balisacan, the country's top government economist, as he announced growth figures that beat international expectations. Nearly 7% in the last quarter of 2014, pushing the average full-year growth to more than 6% for a third consecutive year. Congestion at Manila's ports and the lingering effects of Typhoon Haiyan, one of the most destructive storms to hit the country, had dampened its economic performance for a good part of last year. But an increase in agricultural output, the continuing expansion of the call center industry, construction in both public and private sectors, and strong consumer demand boosted the economy. Balisacan says this time around, the Philippines has avoided a boom-bust cycle. And at least one international lender agrees.
The current growth in the Philippines is not driven purely by debt. It's driven by strong fundamentals and good demographics and an improvement in productivity. So you would think that it does seem like the issues of the past of boom-bust cycles and the leverage-driven growth is no longer the case.
And as an oil importing country, the Philippines stands to benefit from low oil prices, as this would mean cheaper commodities and power rates. But in a country that is home to one of Asia's youngest and fastest growing populations, economists believe continuing economic growth over the long term will depend on the country's ability to take advantage of its young society.
That young population presents a big opportunity to grow faster and create jobs. But of course, it provides an opportunity to have higher GDP growth, but you also need to create the jobs so that you don't have an unemployment problem. So it's a great opportunity, but it also is a challenge.
The unemployment rate in the Philippines remains one of the highest in Asia. But last year, 1 million jobs were created, and if that can be sustained, experts say it is likely the country won't go back to being the sick man of Asia anytime soon. Barnaby, CCTV, Manila.